Most men believe that desire simply fades with age, but science shows another truth. There's a breakfast that, when made with the right foods, can naturally reactivate testosterone, improve circulation, and return energy that seemed lost. In this eye-opening video, you'll discover the exact combination of ingredients that doctors and nutritionists recommend for men over 60. A simple protocol validated by international studies, which has already transformed the routine of thousands of people without the use of medicines, without taboo, and without empty promises. Follow until the end to see the complete science-based recipe and apply it today. This video is for you if you feel like you've lost your desire, motivation, or vitality and want your natural potency back. Watch, apply, and watch your body really respond. Most men don't realize how much the first 2 hours of the day directly influence their energy, mood, circulation, and desire. At 60, the body no longer responds as it used to. But this does not mean irreversible loss. It just means that he's waiting for the right stimuli to work as he should. And morning food is the first of these stimuli. What you eat in the early hours of the morning activates, regulates, or blocks the hormones responsible for libido, motivation, and vitality. And when breakfast is made with the right foods, scientifically proven, the body responds more strongly than many supplements promise. In a study conducted by the University of Massachusetts, men between the ages of 60 and 70 who started consuming a breakfast with berries, eggs, good fats, and foods with zinc showed an increase in energy by up to 50% in the first 3 weeks. The control group, which kept white bread, margarine, and coffee pure, showed the opposite: more sleepiness, lower concentration, and zero impact on craving. What does it show? That vitality does not depend on age, but on the right information at the right time. The male body has a hormonal key called testosterone. After the age of 50, it tends to fall by an average of 1% per year. But what few people know is that diet is one of the main regulators of this hormone, and that levels can remain high even after 60 with a simple combination made every day: complete proteins, natural antioxidants, and functional fats. Free-range eggs, for example, are one of the most affordable and effective sources of choline, an essential nutrient for the production of neurotransmitters linked to sexual performance and memory. When combined with extra virgin olive oil and berries, such as strawberries, blackberries, or blueberries, the metabolic response of the male body increases significantly. Studies show that the antioxidants present in these fruits reduce vascular inflammation, improve circulation, and favor the delivery of oxygen to the most sensitive areas of the body. But it's not just about ingredients. It is the order in which they are ingested. When the day begins with inflammatory foods, such as refined sugar, white flour, and industrialized vegetable oils, the body responds with slowness, decreased focus, and hormonal reduction. On the other hand, when starting with proteins, fiber, and antioxidants, the body understands that it needs to function at a high. This has a direct impact not only on health, but on desire, posture, and even on the way men see themselves in front of the mirror. Another undervalued but extremely potent breakfast food is pumpkin seed. Rich in zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats, it acts directly on testosterone production and mood regulation. A tablespoon a day mixed into a natural yogurt or blended with frozen banana, pure cocoa, can do more for the male body than many capsules sold in pharmacies. French nutritionist Michel Tardieu argues that the ideal breakfast for men over 60 needs to contain 4 elements: a food rich in complete animal or vegetable protein, a source of colored antioxidant, a good quality fat, and a mild stimulating component, such as green tea or coffee with coconut oil. This formula, according to him, acts on the hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis, favoring hormonal release and emotional stability. But few men know this. Most still believe that aging is synonymous with loss, when in fact it is an invitation to adjust what has never been done correctly, and breakfast is the first adjustment. The male body, when fed with intelligence, responds with power. It's not about eternal youth, it's about real vitality, underpinned by daily choices. Choices that start in the kitchen and reflect in bed, at work, in relationships, and in self-esteem. It's not just what you eat, but when you eat. The male body operates based on precise biological rhythms, called circadian cycles. These cycles control the release of hormones, digestion, mood, and even the way nutrients are absorbed. Studies at Harvard Medical School found that men over 60 who delayed breakfast by more than 90 minutes had up to 20% lower testosterone levels later in the day, even though they ate the same foods. The explanation is clear. The body expects certain nutrients at certain times. When they don't arrive, the system deactivates functions considered less urgent, such as libido and sexual energy, to preserve basic functioning. Testosterone, for example, is produced in greater volume during deep sleep and in the early hours of the day. If the body receives the correct food stimulus during this period, it understands that it can maintain production at stable levels. But if the stimulus is delayed or compromised with prolonged fasting or the wrong foods, the body goes on alert. And when there is an alert, there is hormonal retraction. Therefore, experts recommend that men over 60 make their first nutritional consumption between 30 and 60 minutes after waking up, even if it is something light, such as a combination of natural yogurt with chia and a small portion of berries. This message to the brain activates metabolism, stimulates the hormonal axis, and improves insulin sensitivity, a crucial factor for circulation and male desire. Another fundamental point ignored by many is the type of carbohydrate consumed. Refined carbohydrates, such as white bread, crackers, sweetened cereal, or cookies, quickly raise blood glucose and cause a sharp drop soon after. This peak and fall effect directly impacts mood and the production of dopamine, a neurotransmitter essential for motivation and desire. On the other hand, low glycemic carbohydrates, such as oatmeal, boiled sweet potatoes, or green bananas, offer constant energy, maintain focus, and improve the response to sexual stimuli throughout the day. A real example comes from a study of elderly men published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology. In it, participants who included oatmeal, eggs, and low glycemic fruit for breakfast had significant improvements in testosterone markers and sexual performance after just 4 weeks. Those that maintained traditional breakfasts, based on bread, sugar, and pure coffee, did not show relevant changes. In addition to food, the environment in which breakfast is consumed also interferes with the hormonal system. Eating standing up, looking at your cell phone, or in a hurry suppresses the vagal stimulus, responsible for activating digestion and calming the body. The ideal is to sit down, chew carefully, and allow the body to recognize that it is being nourished with quality. This calmness activates the vagus nerve, which is responsible for functions such as heartbeat, digestion, and, yes, libido. Another ally that many ignore is pure cocoa. Rich in theobromine, magnesium, and flavonoids, it acts as a natural vasodilator, improving blood flow and increasing serotonin production. A teaspoon mixed into yogurt or a morning shake can yield visible benefits within a few days. But beware, it's not ordinary chocolate. It's unsweetened cocoa powder with a high purity content. And if breakfast is the trigger of vitality, it is also the mirror of what man believes about himself. When a 60-year-old man wakes up and eats as if he deserves power, focus, and energy, the body follows. Biology is influenced by decision. It's not magic, it's physiology, activated by small habits every day. It is common to think that it is enough to eat a little better for the body to respond with more energy. But for men over 60, small mistakes repeated daily can completely block the benefits of healthy eating. And the worst thing is that many of these mistakes are made right at breakfast, exactly at the most sensitive moment for the hormonal functioning of the male body. The first mistake is the daily consumption of industrialized or natural fruit juices on an empty stomach, especially those made with oranges, grapes, or apples. Although they are considered healthy, these juices have a very high concentration of fructose, without the presence of the fibers of the whole fruit. This causes a spike in blood glucose followed by an abrupt drop that compromises metabolism and directly affects the hormonal axis. For a 60-year-old man, this type of stimulus dysregulates the system and reduces the release of testosterone. Replacing these juices with whole fruit or with water with lemon and chia in the morning is a simple change that already shows improvement in energy levels in a few days. The second mistake is to believe that wholemeal bread is always healthy. Many breads labeled as wholemeal contain refined flours, added sugar, and vegetable oils that silently inflame the body. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the biggest causes of testosterone drop and erectile dysfunction in men over 60. A study by the University of Oslo showed that patients who eliminated refined wheat for just 30 days showed significant improvement in circulation and sexual performance. Instead of bread, the ideal is to consume eggs with vegetables, banana pancakes with oatmeal, or even a sweet potato puree with olive oil. Foods that offer satiety, fiber, and do not cause inflammation. The third mistake is skipping breakfast altogether, thinking you're doing intermittent fasting. While fasting has benefits in certain contexts, for men over 60 who already show signs of a drop in testosterone, the absence of morning nutritional stimulation can exacerbate the problem. The body interprets a lack of food as a sign of stress and slows down secondary hormonal functions, including libido, disposition, and focus. The result? More tiredness, less motivation, and a slow loss of vital force that many attribute to aging, but which is actually the result of biochemical dysregulation. These three mistakes, concentrated juices, disguised breads, and misguided fasting, are responsible for more than half of the cases of mild hormonal drop diagnosed in functional nutrition clinics. And the most alarming, almost all men who commit them consider themselves well-fed. To reverse this scenario, the secret is to understand that power begins with information. When a man learns how his body really works, he stops repeating automatic habits and starts acting strategically. From the age of 60, the body demands more precision, but it also delivers more results when it is well cared for. The Spanish clinical nutritionist Javier Salinas, who specializes in male longevity, often says that the 60-year-old man who learns to eat right lives the next 20 as if he were 40. This is not an exaggeration. It is applied science. Mindful eating, combined with controlled sun exposure, functional breathing, and light movement in the morning, forms the most effective protocol to maintain desire, mood, and active strength in mature men. It's time to put together, step by step, the ideal breakfast for men over 60, based on scientific evidence, affordable, tasty, and built with foods that truly impact hormone production, energy, and circulation. The proposal here is not a magic formula, but rather a dietary protocol that, repeated daily, activates the right mechanisms in the male body to restore desire, focus, and vitality. Step 1. High-quality protein. Start with 2 units of hard-boiled or scrambled free-range egg, prepared with extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil. Eggs provide choline, vitamin D, selenium, and complete protein, essential for testosterone production and proper neurological function. If you prefer a plant-based alternative, you can use organic tofu with turmeric, which also offers protein and bioactive compounds. Step 2. Natural antioxidants. Include a portion of berries, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, or blackberry. These fruits have anthocyanins and flavonoids that improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and protect blood vessels. In addition, they help maintain levels of nitric oxide, an essential gas for the erection process and blood supply. Step 3. Functional fat. Add a teaspoon of pumpkin or sunflower seeds. Both are rich in zinc, magnesium, and omega-9, micronutrients directly related to male hormone production. If you want to vary, a spoonful of flaxseed oil can also be incorporated into a natural yogurt or blended with fruit. Step 4. Stable energy with smart carbohydrate. Avoid bread or white flour. Instead, opt for a portion of finely rolled oats, cooked in water or plant-based milk, with a pinch of cinnamon. Oats provide beta-glucans, which help regulate blood glucose and keep energy stable for hours. Another alternative is half a banana cooked with pure cocoa and cinnamon, forming a natural sweet base without high glycemic impact. Step 5. Regulating drink. Replace the black coffee with warm green tea with lemon or coffee with a small spoonful of coconut oil. Both favor fat oxidation, stimulate the production of catecholamines, and keep the mind alert without causing energy fluctuations. Avoid sugar or sweeteners, and if necessary, use a touch of cinnamon or a drop of natural vanilla extract. Final assembled suggestion: 2 free-range eggs scrambled with olive oil and turmeric, 3 tablespoons of fresh berries, a tablespoon of pumpkin seed, a portion of cooked oats with cinnamon and cocoa, warm green tea with lemon total, less than 15 minutes of preparation, and more than 12 hours of metabolic impact. When this routine is followed daily, the first results appear between 7 and 10 days. More disposition when waking up, more intense focus in the early hours of the morning, more stable mood throughout the day, and, above all, gradual return of desire, power, and male self-esteem. Traditional medicine often ignores the role of nutrition in sexual health. But the current studies are clear. More than 50% of cases of decreased libido in mature men are linked to dietary deficiencies, not to emotional factors or permanent clinical dysfunctions. Vitality is built with consistency, and this breakfast is no exception. It's the base. It communicates to the body that there is still power, energy, and intention to live stronger. When a man eats with purpose, he begins to move differently, look differently, speak differently, because the body responds to what it receives. And a well-nourished body doesn't forget how to be strong. If this content helped you, subscribe to the channel and share it with other men who still have the desire inside them, and now they also know how to awaken it. If this video made sense to you, like it now and share it with a friend who needs this information. Comment below, I want vitality, and we'll send you more practical tips in the next content. And don't forget, strength is not lost over time. It rebuilds itself with daily choices.